Welcome on back. In this one today, we're going to be ranking every wonder weapon in Cold War Zombies from worst to best. Every variant of the CRBRS and the D.I.E Shockwave are going to be included. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming into our worst wonder weapon, we have the fire variant of the D.I.E. Now, not only is this the worst wonder weapon for Cold War Zombies, but it's also one of the worst of all time. It does have some redeeming values like being able to recharge ammo a lot more effectively, but when it comes to the normal shot, it's not that effective. It doesn't take up that much ammo, and the ammo that it does take up isn't as effective compared to the other variants of the D.I.E. On higher rounds, you're going to have better odds using a gold gallo than this weapon, because with the gallo you can get ammo mods which can kill more zombies per shot. When it comes to mobility, the D.I.Es in general aren't that great, so there really isn't much of a redeeming factor there either. Overall, this variant of the D.I.E is definitely the worst when it comes to the D.I.E variants, and even compared to good guns that you can spawn in-game, like with the Gallo or some other melee weapons, it just isn't that good. So for all these reasons, we're gonna have to put the Fire D.I.E as the worst wonder weapon in Cold War Zombies. Moving up next, we have the Ice variant. This variant does a bit more damage than the Fire, and it has a continuous shot, so you don't have to worry too much about the ammo or ease of use. But overall, there are just a ton of better options. It still doesn't do enough damage compared to the other variants or even some of the other base weapons in this game. While it does hold more ammo, it also doesn't have a super effective suck like the Fire variant, which can make it somewhat unreliable for getting more ammo. It can do decently well against mini bosses in this game, like the Megatons, because it can slow enemies down. When it comes to getting this wonder weapon, it isn't that difficult to get, but it is a little bit harder than some of the other variants on this list. Overall, though, the effort you put in to obtain this wonder weapon isn't that worth it. You're once again going to have much better odds just using the base variant or another gun entirely than upgrading to this one. Now, coming up next, we have another D.I.E variant once again. This time it's going to the Poison variant, which on paper is actually one of the better ones. The problem is that you have to be in a very specific situation in order to use it properly. If you just want to shoot zombies out of your way and be safe, this is one of the worst variants of the D.I.E that you could use. But if you are camping on the crash site or on top of Noct, then it could be the best variant to use. In a situation where you don't have to move the zombies around a whole lot, this can be a very effective wonder weapon. The reason for that is that this wonder weapon does damage over time by leaving a smokescreen area once you shoot it. The ammo isn't as good as some of the other variants, but while you're killing the zombies with the poison, you can also use the suck ability and get more ammo back. When it comes to building this variant, I argue that it is the easiest. All you have to do is grab a part and get a couple of play count kills, and then you're pretty much done. Overall, an effective wonder weapon, but only for certain situations. Next up, we have the shotgun variant of the CRBRS. When it comes to the damage for this wonder weapon, it is very solid. The main problems are the fire rate and the ammo. It does shoot a little bit slower than most of the CRBRS variants that we have on this list, but when it comes to overall effectiveness, it won't be able to kill as many zombies with one shot. Not only that, but this variant of the CRBRS also has the least amount of ammo, and without a suck ability like with the D.I.E variants to replenish the ammo, I never see myself picking up this variant, especially when the base variant of the CRBRS is so much better. Overall, really good when it comes to damage and ease of use, but other than that, it's not a wonder weapon that I'd pick. Moving into our next wonder weapon, we have the laser variant of the CRBRS. Now, this variant is really good at killing zombies, probably not the best when it comes to killing panzers or any of the mini bosses in this game. It has a decent amount of ammo depending on if you pack-a-punch it or not, but the main reason that it is here is because of the ease of use and the practicality it has when doing the Easter egg. It is the easiest variant to use out of all the Cerberus variants, but when it comes to the damage, especially against the mini bosses, it just isn't the best. Getting this variant is also a little bit easier than the others because when doing the Easter egg, this is one of the first that you will get so that you can open up the wall. So it does have a bit more accessibility than the other variants in this game. Coming up next, we have the normal variant of the D.I.E. Now, when it comes to the base D.I.E variant, it is very good all around. If there are a ton of zombies in your way, all you have to do is shoot one bullet and then you're safe. It's almost like a thunder gun that can recharge ammo. The damage is better than most of the other variants. The only downside that I see with this weapon is that the ammo is a little bit lower than the other variants of the D.I.E. But with the suck ability, you can easily get back enough ammo to consistently fire off this weapon. It doesn't matter if you're training, camping, or just running around the map casually, the base D.I.E is a very reliable wonder weapon. It does shoot a little bit slow and doesn't do as much damage as some of the other wonder weapons on this list, but it still is a reliable pick nonetheless. Next up, we have the electric D.I.E variant. I'm putting this as the best variant of the D.I.E for multiple reasons. First off, it has the most amount of ammo and has the potential to deal the most amount of damage. When it comes to killing zombies, it might not be the most effective, but when it comes to taking down the mini bosses, it is one of, if not the best wonder weapon that you could use in this game. And I'm not sure if this got patched or not, but I do remember a glitch that you could use with this wonder weapon where you can move around really fast while shooting backwards, like how you would if you were using the Boom Hilda on Origins. If it still works, that only makes this gun better, but even without, I'd still put this variant as the best in this game. It does a ton of damage over time, and if used properly, can be more effective than any of the other variants. Now, moving into our next weapon, we have the ray gun. Now, if we were talking about the other games that Treyarch have made, I might have put the ray gun towards the bottom of the list. When it comes to Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 4, the ray gun has consistently been a horrible weapon to use, especially in Black Ops 2 and 3 since you have no PhD. In Black Ops Cold War, not only do you have PhD to use this weapon effectively, the damage was also greatly increased in this game. You have a good amount of splash damage, and while it might not be the best wonder weapon against zombies and mini bosses, it is definitely one of the most effective. You can take zombies down with one shot while using Ring of Fire, and even without Ring, it doesn't take many bullets to take them down in the earlier rounds. It is the best wonder weapon that you could use for Easter eggs in this game, and a really effective option to use for high rounds. Moving into our next wonder weapon, we have the Ray K. A lot of people like to hate on this wonder weapon, and that's mainly because it is on a bad map, that being Firebase Z. But on paper, this is one of the best wonder weapons in this game. It can kill a full horde of 24, which most wonder weapons in Cold War Zombies can't do. The ammo and damage is also really solid. The only problem with this wonder weapon is that the ease of use isn't that great in comparison to others. They nerfed this gun shortly after Cold War Zombies came out and made it to where you can't switch between the bomb and the normal fire mode as quickly. Even with this nerf, it's not that difficult to use this weapon. It's like the Ray Gun Mark III where you switch between different modes depending on the situation that you are in. When fighting against Orda, the normal shot in this weapon is great to use. Overall, it's a really underrated wonder weapon because it is on a bad map, but if you give it a try, you will quickly find it to be an effective weapon to use. Coming up next, we have the Swarm variant of the CRBRS. This variant is much better than any of the other variants that you can pick up in this game. The ammo is a lot better, so is the damage and ease of use. It's also the only other variant besides the shotgun variant that can take down multiple zombies because it not only shoots multiple bullets, but each of them explode as well. There are also tracking rounds on the bullets that you can shoot, which helps against the Disciples on Marauder Toten specifically. The only reason I can't put this weapon higher up on the list is because it's not as good as our top two placements on this list. Next up, as the second best wonder weapon in Cold War Zombies, we have the Chrysalax on Forsaken. This one's a bit more of a personal pick. I know when it comes to damage, it falls off a bit after a certain number of rounds, but when it comes to ease of use and variety that you have with this weapon, it is personally my favorite in Cold War Zombies. You have the melee weapon, which does a lot of damage and can regenerate your health with certain abilities. Then you have the pistol side, which shoots normal shards, which aren't too effective, but it provides another option to kill zombies at a longer range than just using the axe. It's a really cool looking wonder weapon, and overall is just fun to use. It isn't the best because there is one more wonder weapon in this game that takes that spot, but it personally is my favorite for this game. And coming to our number 1 spot, we have the base Cerberus on Mauerder Toten. This is statistically the best in Cold War Zombies because of the amount of ammo that you have, as well as the amount of damage that you can deal. Having this weapon pack a punch twice can carry you into the much later rounds, since it can deal 16,000 damage per headshot, which is double of what the triple papped ray gun can deal. It also shoots really fast, so you don't ever have to worry about being cornered. And when it comes to the accessibility, it's the base variant, so you can either do the trials or the Easter egg quest to obtain it, which isn't too hard. I also like how this wonder weapon has an AI that communicates to the player. Some find it very annoying, but I think it's pretty cool. Overall, a top 10 when it comes to zombie wonder weapons in general, and the best wonder weapon when it comes to Cold War Zombies. Anyways guys, it's going to wrap up this video for today. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, do all that, leave your comments down below if you want to see me do any other type of content. Check down the description as well for more zombie related videos. And yeah, I got nothing much else to say, so peace.